This is the Saturday edition. This is the Shut Up Money Show. We do this every single Saturday. We come to you to help you get that shut up money. We want you to get that shut up money, that first deal paycheck where you can tell your haters and all those people out there that are naysaying your dreams. You can tell them, hey, I got something that works here. Shut up. And here's the best part. A lot of folks have been out there working at this for quite a long time. I understand that. Quite a long time, quite a while. Started a while back, watching some videos, getting some education, getting a little bit of excitement brewing, a little bit of dreaming started. And when you discovered real estate, a little bit of hope sparked in your mind that there's some ways to cash some big checks outside of clocking in and clocking out for some little checks. Yeah, I've been there too. I remember sitting on the couch watching infomercials as a younger guy, thinking, that's what I want to do. Why would I go to college when I could do this? uh, Absolutely. Yep. Yep. I had a good time watching those infomercials, but putting it into practice in my own life has been another story. I've taken a few lumps, failed a few times, made a lot of mistakes. In fact, I think I've invented a few new mistakes. Happy Halloween, everybody. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
It's good to see you,
Happy
Sandra.
Halloween.
It's
Good
good
to
to
see you,
see you.
Larry.
It's good to see you, Justin. I have a question for you right off the bat.
Yeah.
So remember last time I had brought to you that deal where I was dealing with that older gentleman who was 84 years old, and he was telling me how the 2-year lease option for him was too long. Remember how you told me to follow up with him? And
Yeah.
so, yeah, so I followed up with him, and I said, well, he said the only way he would do it is if I do 1 year. So,
Yeah. See, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit nervous because I don't know if I can get somebody in there that can qualify for 1 year, and that was the only way he would go through. But anyway, so I sent him over, the revised offer letter, and he saw that, and he wanted me to send him over the lease option memo. So I did. I sent him that. He's like, I like to do the 1 year, so I did send him over the lease option memo. So
Okay.
hopefully that's something he'll be getting today. If that's something I'll be getting back today. So I'm like, okay, hopefully this will be my first one. But I am nervous about the fact that, like, I don't know if I can get somebody in there for a year. Is that maybe just like something I shouldn't be nervous about that?
Sandra, you should not be nervous about that at all.
Okay.
The only downside to it, Sandra, is that you can't mark the property up like 10 whole percent probably.
Okay.
If he's asking what the full retail value of that property is and you get a 12-month deal term,
Uh-huh.
you're only going to be able to mark up the property probably 3, 4, maybe 5% tops. Uh,
Okay.
so it's a little skinnier deal, but at the same time, completely and totally doable.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
you
Okay.
don't you don't want to outthink yourself on that one.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
That sounds good.
but what a
Uh,
great story that the guy is interested. So, what did he say to you originally when you called him? 83-year-old guy, and you pitched a 2-3 year deal, something
Yeah,
like
so it
that.
was, yeah, so he was really excited, and he was like, yeah, that sounds great, and so I went ahead and I emailed him, the offer letter, with some of like the questions and the packages attached to it that he would have on, you know what I mean? So and then he emailed me and saying that, after careful consideration, he said, I don't think that at least, would work for me, because I'm 84 years old. I have 4 rental properties. I'm trying to, de-invest and all that. So I brought it to the group. I remember I brought it up to you, and I was saying how I was like, because initially I was going to ask you, I thought that he was going to go for it. So I hopped in early because I wanted to ask you a few questions, but then he sent me an email saying that he wasn't going to, that wasn't going to work for him. So you had told me to go back and say, what is it about the lease option that he didn't like? And he said, the 2 years. So, and he said
Right.
1 year. And I said, oh, so you want to do 1 year? He says, well, I'm 84 years old. 1 year sounds pretty fast to me. That goes pretty fast. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so he went for the 1 year,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. That's a great story, Sandra. Thank you for sharing that with us. Anybody that wants to hop in here, public Q&A, here's how you get in. Zoom, Justin. Money is the password.
Yeah.
I want to speak on this because what it really highlights a couple really important things. And first of all, it's that when a guy or a gal that's a homeowner that you called a lead and they seem interested, but then all of a sudden now they're not interested. And his excuse was, is I'm 83 and the term of 2 years just seems too long to me. Okay, see, that's an objection, and it sounds like he's killing the deal. But if you think of it like just slightly differently, he's really just negotiating with you. He's
Mm-hmm.
saying, listen, this 24 months is too long. So when you got back with him, long story short, if I can recap a little, um, you got back with him and you said, well, hey, is it the 24 months? What was too long? What's happening here? What about it is it that you don't like? Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the 12 months. And boom, there
Mm-hmm.
you go. Now he's back on, right?
Right.
Like magic. So
Mm-hmm.
I would not feel afraid to go ahead and step out bold and strong, Sandra, on that 12-month lease option deal. I would not be afraid to at all. There's a lot of folks out there that only need 12 months.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the fair market value?
107.
Perfect. What kind of beds and baths?
3 beds. It's a little strange. It's 3 beds, um, 3 beds and 3 baths in one side, but then the house also has like a mother-in-law kind of thing attached to it, where it's another bedroom with a separate entrance and a separate kitchen.
Okay. So
So
have you checked out the neighborhood and the area? Is
yeah,
it fairly decently populated?
yeah, fairly decent populated. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and is the rent and everything comparable for the neighborhood? What your payment will be, or the tenant buyer's payment will be? Is it comparable for the
Yeah.
neighborhood rent?
Yeah. 950. Yeah, and it's comparable. Yeah.
Yeah, you're golden. Matter
Yeah.
of fact, this one will probably get snapped up in the first weekend.
I hope so. That'll be my
Yeah,
first one. It does. Like I said, I send that over to him, and he's supposed to, get, sign the memo and
yeah,
send it back to me, um, either this weekend or,
yeah.
I'll follow up with them on Monday or something like that. So, but
Great,
yeah, yeah.
great,
So
great job, Sandra. That's powerful because a lot of us give up too quick, right? And I think that's a great story that teaches us not to give up too quickly. The guys sound like he shot the deal down. We automatically go into oh, I knew it wouldn't work. I'm not saying Sandra did this, but a lot of people,
mm,
go into this, sad, oh, well, it's not going to work for that guy. I should have known, and I don't know if I'll ever find anybody that's really motivated. I don't know if it's just me or if this thing's just a scam,
yeah, yeah. I do, Justin. I do have another question for you. I had
Okay.
another.
No, this thing don't stay up.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Sandra.
Oh, I had another question for you. There was another seller who is interested in doing a lease option, and he asked me a question. It's a really good question. I didn't know how to put it into how to like put it in like the in my offer letter. He asked me, okay, he asked me this price that let's say the price is 264. Okay. He
Okay.
said, what if in 2 years that price goes up or down? What if the property appreciates or depreciates? And they want to purchase it. I want it to be that they're going to be purchasing it based on what the appreciation value or the depreciation value is. I understood what he was asking me, but I didn't know. He said that he wants that to be put in the offer letter. I just don't know how to even formulate something like that, but I know what he's
Mhm.
asking me.
Okay. When a seller says something like that to you from now on, I want you to, when he says, I want that put in the offer letter. And here's what I'll say.
Okay.
Mr. Homeowner, okay, I got a pen ready and a piece of paper. Exactly. Say it exactly how you would be comfortable with it.
Okay. Oh, so okay.
See,
Give
put the
him
pressure, this is his thing. This is what
mhm.
he wants. I mean, why do I need to try to figure out how to word it and, all this shit? If it's what he wants, he ought to know how to say it.
Okay. All right then.
But the concept itself, the equity in a lease purchase deal of appreciation, a lot of that is going to you as option fee.
Right.
Okay. So, you can't really pay the seller the upside of the equity. It's not really going to work.
Mm,
There's no paycheck for you. You also can't give it all to the tenant buyer. You have to create a paycheck in there someplace. Okay. So, I don't know what he wants to word it like exactly, or exactly what he means really. Other than it sounds like he's saying if the house was worth 264,000 in 3 years, it might be worth 295,000. He wants to
no,
get
no, he was saying that like the house is 264 right now. Let's say the house is
okay.
264 right now. What if at the end of this 2-year term, the house drops to 200 or it goes to 285?
Okay.
I want it
Yeah.
to be, because he was saying that if the house goes to 285, these people might not want to purchase it because they signed a contract for 264. And he said if the house drops to let's say the house drops to 200, they'll definitely want to go ahead and purchase it now because it's lower. Because he said that do they have to? Are they obligated to purchase it? And I said no, they don't. But they have the first option. They have what I mean. They're first in line.
Yeah.
And often a lot of times they do go through with it, because like I said, they paid money to be in my
Yeah.
to be in my program. They want to be
Yeah.
homeowners. They're not the type of people that's going to leave in
Yeah.
12 months, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I went to the whole thing with them, but he wanted me to
Yeah.
put something in there. So
Yeah. What I say is I'll say, Mr. Homeowner, if the property goes up in value over the next few years, hopefully that's the case. You're going to get the 265 or 264 that we agree upon today. That's what we agree upon today. That's kind of what makes the deal work. And so if it goes up in value, hopefully it will. Hopefully it will. That's some incentive for them, for the tenant buyer. Now, if it goes, now they're not going to be forced to buy though. If they ask that question, no, I mean, the tenant buyer is not going to be forced to buy for any reason. It's just something we live in the United States.
mhm.
So, it's just how it works here. So on the reverse side, if the property goes down in value, let's say instead of it being worth 264, which is what we agree upon today, Mr. Homeowner, in 3 years, we've had two 9/11s happen since then, and now it's worth 200 instead of 264. Mr. Homeowner, you're not going to be required to sell it for anything less than 265. However, they're probably not going to pay 265 for it because it's only worth 200 now. So in that case, which is a far out, example of worst case scenario, you're not going to be forced to lose that property. Okay.
Okay, got it.
So is that what you're asking me, Mr. Homeowner, or was there another problem that keeps us from doing a deal today? Okay. That's kind of how I talk to folks. Does that make sense how it works? I think you get it, Sandra, right?
I think so.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. It's a good question. But how he wants it written on the paperwork, though, I'd make him tell me. You tell me how you want it, or how about this? I'll send it over to you like like I do, and then Mr. Homeowner, before you sign it, write it in there, or something, and that way I can see what your thoughts are, and we get it on the right paper. Put it back on him, because you're not an attorney, and you're not negotiating against yourself, right?
Hmm.
That's what my thoughts are on that. That's a good questions, and good story, good success comes from those good stories like that. You're gonna keep working at it, and you're gonna get some deals. Sandra, have you gotten any deals so far? How have you done deals
No,
yet?
no, this would be my first. No, that's the thing. That's if he signs that, talking about the 84-year person, that would be my first deal. So
Okay,
that's why
great. I see.
yeah, I don't
Well,
have any,
yeah,
I haven't done any deals or anything like that before that. So that's what I was saying. It's like that would be my first deal, but I don't want to get too excited because
yeah,
I still don't have that signed, signed paper back. You know what I mean? So, but
yeah.
that would be my first deal ever. So yeah.
That's all good. Yeah, that's all good. Good job. That's what a good first deal. And honestly, he sounds like a nice, good old boy to work with. You know,
Yeah.
I,
for your
I had a question. I wanted to ask her how did she get the lead? Because I just tapped in about 2 minutes ago.
yeah. Welcome,
I
Lashonda.
I did. It's a virtual lead. It's in another state. I just did it was just a Zillow scrape for sell by owner.
Oh, okay. Using the automated REI.
Yeah, yep, the
Yeah. Okay.
automated REI. Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Cool.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that was that. Yeah, so that one was automated REI. Well, I haven't got it yet, so you know,
Well,
and
I think you'll get it. He sound like he on
I
board.
hope so. I hope so. And then this other one where the 264, that one is actually a deal that's listed with the realtor for 6 months. The house is vacant, and I reached out to the homeowner directly.
Yeah,
Directly.
that's
Ooh.
right. That's right.
Hey,
Sandra, did you do that in a virtual market or did you do it in your area?
They're both they're both virtual.
Okay.
Can I say something I think that's interesting is, for a while people were like, the Real Estate Wholesalers Club needs more females. The females are afraid to turn their cameras on and interact because this is a male dominated club. And I was like, what? I was like, what? I was like, I'm sorry. I don't mean for it to be that way. And I try to incorporate females as much as I can. But I just want to point something out here that Sandra and Lashonda they are hitters. Okay. I mean, I am impressed with the females in this club and how they're stepping up right now and doing things and talking and interacting and asking questions and busy about doing their business. It is super impressive. And I just want to say, dudes, they are about to put y'all to shame if there was a competition. Okay. I love it. I am proud of you girls. You are doing awesome. You guys are
thank you.
you guys
Thank
are
you.
gonna kick ass, and just keep it up. I love it.
I did have another question about the automator. When
The
we do
automated
the
REI.
yes, when we do the Zillow scrapes, like every day we're scraping Zillow. So the new listings that are on Zillow for that day, they're not as, I would assume they're not as motivated as someone that's, been having a house listed for 60 days or 90 days or something like that. So when we do the scrape and then we get the leads coming back in and then we start calling them, do you run into that a lot? What I'm saying, hey, I just
Yes.
listed yesterday, or I just listed today or a couple of days
Yes.
ago, blah, blah, blah.
Yes. And that's okay. All right. So when we're talking to these people, we use the guts conversation invented by Claude Diamond, and he comes on a lot and talks about it. We talk about it a lot. Victor role plays it on Wednesdays, but in that conversation, in about the first 3 minutes or so, we're able to qualify or disqualify that person. In other words, we determine what motivation level they have. So whether it's a 1 through 5 on a scale of 1 to 10, which is pretty low motivation, or a 6 through 10, which is a pretty decent level of motivation. Now, we will call these people that just listed their house on Zillow yesterday, this morning, what have you. That's what you're asking about. Now, they are just brand new on Zillow. They haven't had much time to see if it works or not. So we detected that they're a 7 or an 8 on the motivation scale, but yet they weren't ready because they still need to try to see if they're going to get any offers on Zillow. They haven't given up yet. Okay. We put those people on our follow-up list. All right. If that person is a 1 through 5 and we can't do anything with them, we just throw that away. But we keep the 6 through 10s and we put them on a follow-up list. All right. And if even if they just went on Zillow this week and they're not ready, but they're a 7, they might be ready in a month. You dig? Okay. So it's nice that we've already talked to them too. So when we call them here in a couple of weeks or a month, they may even remember us. Okay. So good stuff, guys. That's how business gets done too. That's how business gets done. You know, they say the money's in the follow-up. That's the kind of stuff they're talking about. Not following up with the no's, not following up with the 1s and the 2s and the 3s and the 4s, not spinning your wheels with the 5s that don't know what they want. Okay. It's following up with the 6 through 10s. That's it. What's the most dangerous number on the scale of 1 to 10? Somebody tell me. This pop quiz. Pop quiz time. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, hey, check this out. It's a new t-shirt. Real estate is my hustle.
Nice shirt.
Yeah, thanks, Ken, man. Real estate
Most
is
dangerous number is to catch somebody at an 8, 9, or 10 because you can only mess it up if you don't start writing it up.
Yeah. Get somebody motivated on the line. What happens to us? You know, we
If you
get
don't,
like
if you don't start writing, you're going to talk them right out of it.
we get like Tommy Boy when he said, I get like JoJo the idiot circus boy with my sail. Oh, I broke my sail. We get excited and it's got nowhere to go but down. Right.
I like your shirt. I like your shirt. That was a cool shirt.
Hey, man. Hey, you can get one over at realestateWholesalersClub.com.
I like that infomercial.
Ding. I got a little sparkle teeth. Ding. Yeah. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Hey,
Justin.
10's a dangerous one. Jerry, what's going on, my man?
Hey, question.
Yeah.
You're scraping automated REI. And if you wanted to go in, say 3 or 4 months later and scrape some of your old leads, do you go back and just scrape that whole list?
You mean go back to the same geographic area?
Yeah,
do it again?
like your old list, a list you already have scraped and you have it in automated REI,
Okay.
and you want to scrape that list again.
Mm.
Okay, you just go in and scrape the whole list again, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, that's what we do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
There's
right.
probably a cheaper way to do it, but it's not much money anyways, but
You
yeah.
know, some of those people have sold their houses or whatever. I was just wondering
Mhm.
about that.
Yeah, so we run the scraper again, so we lose a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
I guess
why.
I'm trying to understand what do you mean when you say run it again? If you've already scraped, we'll say 2 months back, and so you have them in your pipeline, what do? You go back into the software and put those same dates in and re-scrape like that? Or am I not understanding?
I thought he was talking about going in and let's say you did Kansas City today, and then like in 90 days, do you go back and use the same scrape, or do you scrape the area again? That's what I
I
think
was talking about using the same scrape.
Yeah, I don't use the same scrape. I'll re-scrape the same area again.
You go back to the area, but not the same scrape. Okay.
Yep. Exactly. Yep. And I may even have different filters I've chosen. You know, it just depends on what I'm feeling that week.
Okay.
That's right. So, you know, there's going to be some different stuff in there. There's going to be some same stuff in there, and that's okay. There's been people, lots of people, guys, you got to hear this, that told me no, that later told me yes. All right. That's happened a lot in my life. All right. A lot of people told me no that later told me yes.
Right.
All right? So it's okay if you texted them last month
Mm-hmm.
and then you scrape it again this month and you texted them again this month, a similar message. That's okay. That's okay. They might feel differently about things than they did 30 days ago. Let me tell you something. A $1,200, $1,300 a month mortgage payment when you've got two of them now, that'll change how you feel about stuff in 30 days or less. You see what I'm saying? So it's okay to hit them up again, you know? Yeah. Yep.
I just got a contract yesterday on a property.
Woo! Say it again, Jerry. It sounded good in my ears. I want to hear it again. Say it again.
I just got a contract yesterday on a property, and the
All
lady in 45 days, the house is actually paid for. Okay, in 45 days, she wants to move in to her mother's house. Okay, and she was trying to get this house sold. They went in and remodeled the house. Looks really nice. Okay, but they turned the garage into a living area, so there's no garage with the property.
Okay.
So that's the only drawback. But other than that, it's going to be a beautiful deal.
That's not necessarily a drawback. That's okay. Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds great. What's the bedrooms?
3 bedrooms, 2 baths,
No garage,
no garage.
because the garage is now some kind of a kid hangout dorm or something.
Yeah, living area. They turn it into like a living area. Okay.
Yeah.
3,000 square feet.
Woo. What's the fair market value, Jerry?
Fair market value on that property is $260,000.
Woo, that's pretty good, Jerry. That's pretty good. What do you stand to make? What's the total take if you win big?
I got it on the contract for $225,000.
Wow.
225, and it's worth what again? Say again.
$260,000.
260.
Ooh. Ooh. Ouch.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that bad. Huh? What's that spread? Somebody do the math.
A lot of money.
So wait a minute, I gotta get my Casio out. Hold on. This is a
It's 35,000.
260 minus what? 225? What'd you
Yes.
say, Jerry?
230
Yes.
or 35,000.
35K. 35K. That's what he came down off of. 35K.
He's desperate right now.
What kind of contract is this, Jerry? Is this a lease option or is this an option or
Option.
Ooh, nice play.
Yeah.
Straight option, and the house is in retail condition.
Beautiful.
Oh man, Jerry, I'm liking it.
Beautiful. It's been
Yeah.
totally remodeled.
Nice.
They remodeled thinking it was going to stay there, and her mother's sick, so they're going to sell this house and move in with her.
So how did you get a straight option with this lady, or how did you get the option?
I called her, and then we was talking about it, and she did not want to. I first started talking about doing the lease option,
Mhm.
and they did not want to do just a lease option on it. Okay, so that's when
Yeah.
I pitched the option.
Nice.
What seemed to be working better for me when I'm talking to a homeowner, you know, if I go in and say like, "Hey, I saw your house on Zillow, and I'm definitely interested," so many people are turned off by lease option, it seems like, okay? But if you're saying, are you flexible on the price or the terms, then I think they get the under impression when you first talk to them, they're going to get a cash offer, okay?
Mhm.
But it's a great place to start a conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's talking about doing a straight option or a flex option, which, guys, let me share screen with you here and show what he's talking about in a little more detail. The technique he's talking about is pretty interesting. This is a straight option, or it could be a possible flex option, which just is a non-exclusive option. Okay.
Mhm.
These are also sometimes known as first right of purchase. Sometimes they're known as first right of refusal. And here his end buyer is going to be a retail buyer. What do I mean when I say retail buyer? Anybody? Retail buyer. What's that? Who's a retail buyer?
Full
Somebody's
price.
gonna live in the house.
Yeah, they want to buy it and live in the house. It needs
Mhm.
no repairs. Okay, so that's very important here. Fair market value is $260,000. He got an option contract for 225,000. So if he finds a retail buyer that comes in and buys this property from him at 255,000, so in other words, he gave him 5K off his asking price, the fair market value, he stands to put in his pocket $30,000. That is a
Win.
retail wholesale. What'd you say, Larry?
That's a win.
That's what I would say. That's
And
a
I
win.
have another one. I have another one going in Jacksonville also,
Ooh,
but it's a
Jerry.
townhouse, and we're only going to make 10,000 on that one.
Yeah, that's okay. Only going to make 10. Y'all listen at him now.
Oh, he can pay his light bill, so he's all right.
I'm
Hey,
only going
Justin, I
to.
got a question on that.
Yeah, what's up, LaShonda?
On the option, and you finding a retail buyer, is the retail, I would assume the retail buyer is getting a loan, or are they?
Yeah, usually they'll need to have a conventional loan. So you're not looking for a first time home buyer or FHA or Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac kind of thing where they're getting some kind of a government assistance or low down payment or no down payment or any of that stuff. You're going to need a real conventional buyer, retail conventional loan buyer. Does that make sense?
Okay, so when you're talking to the seller and you pitching this option, if they don't want the lease option, as far as the option part, is it you that's supposed to be purchasing it, but you in reality is looking for a buyer, kind of like a regular wholesale deal? Is that?
I believe the agreement, it could be done either way, but I believe the agreement and the way that I've shared this technique before, which is not a technique that I do a lot of, just to be frank, but it is a technique that I have done and I have done frequently at one time, but not lately. But at any rate, the agreement that I put out, the one that I think Jerry's using, he may be using a different one. It says on the agreement that we're looking to do what we're doing. Okay,
Right.
sign the deal away. We're looking for an end buyer. When we do, we're going to make a profit. We're going to, blah, blah, blah. So we're very transparent about this stuff. Oh, by the way, I'm not a realtor too. That's at the bottom. This is a straight option or a flex option.
Yes.
And for X amount of time, bada bing, bada boom.
Okay, so it's really like you're a realtor in a sense, but because you have it under contract, you have equitable interest in it. It separates you, but that's kind of like the same thing in a sense, though, right? It seems like.
Well, it could be looked at like that. Yeah, sure. But it's actually, of course, wholesaling could be looked at it like that. All that we do, there's people that are smarter than me in rooms probably right now arguing about that, but the thing is that you're actually selling off that piece of paper. You're not representing the property or the property owner. You're selling off your equitable interest, your option to purchase it at X dollars for X dollars. Okay, so
Gotcha.
same game as a wholesale. Same game as a
Gotcha.
wholesale. It's just you're looking for a retail buyer instead of a fix and flipper.
Because you
Right.
got a pretty house, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And there's nothing in any law books anywhere that says that you must wholesale only ugly houses, or that you can't sell to a retail buyer. That's hands off. That's realtor stuff only. Okay, so a lot of wholesalers overlook the retail buyer and the retail deal, because why not? I was telling about one. This is kind of how we got into this technique a few weeks back. I was working a deal in rural Kentucky, and the property was worth, I think it was worth $225. Very beautiful house, beautiful house, beautiful. The guy put it under contract with me for $150. Okay, what do I do with that? He won't do a lease option. He just wants cash. So I put it under contract for $150. Now I'm trying to find a retail buyer. That's basically what it amounts to. Same concept as a wholesale. I'm just looking for a different type of buyer instead of a landlord or a fix and flipper. Yeah. So keep that tool in your toolbox, guys, or at least that thought in the back of your mind when you're running across some of these deals that are pretty houses and they're discounted. They're just not discounted enough to be an ugly house. Okay. That's okay. Sometimes they qualify for landlord buyers, and sometimes they straight up just qualify for a retail buyer.
So
Right.
when you pitch that, okay, so you run across this pretty house, and like you said, the numbers don't work as far as wholesale, of course, and they don't want to do the lease option. So when you pitch that, do you tell them, well, hey, the numbers don't work for me, but you could say something like, well, I have a database full of buyers that that may be interested, but in order for me to do that, I would have to have some type of agreement with you to be able to do that. Is that how you would pitch that?
Yeah, that's basically the gist. Jerry, why don't you tell us what you said to these prospects when you were picking up the deal? Tell us your experience, and then I'll share mine. I'll add to it.
Well, when I was first picking up the deal, I was pitching a lease option, and then I thought that wasn't going to work. And then I came back and I said, I don't know if this would work for you, but what if I could market your property, okay, and bring a retail buyer to the table? I have a list of buyers in my database. We buy properties all over the U.S., okay? And I have a list of buyers. What if I market it to my buyers, okay? And that was the way that I bought it. And I had another one where I brought it to where I said, her house was under market value. And I said, I don't know if this would work for you, but what if I could get you full asking price for your house? Would you be flexible on the terms? And it was like, that was the hook right there when she was getting a full asking price for her house. Okay. Yeah.
How long you got to sell it, Jerry?
Pardon?
How long do you have to sell it?
45 days.
45 days. Okay, good.
Yeah. That's a good term. 45 days. It's not bad. And it's a flex option, right? So it's not non-exclusive. So yeah, the non-exclusive ones you can get for a long, long time. The exclusive ones sometimes, maybe for a couple of weeks. Or we would do this technique and we would try to wrap it up within 3 weeks. And what we would do is we would get the deal under contract, and then we would it's an assignment agreement. So you're going to put it under contract with an option to purchase, or first right of refusal, or first right of purchase, however you want to call it. And then you've got this spread, so you're looking for a retail buyer. All right. So what we would do is we would have open houses. We would sell the open house. We'd say, hey, listen, we're going to, we would do it in our local market. Mr. Homebuyer, we're going to come out this weekend and next weekend. We're gonna do it up big at your property, signs, banners, flags, the whole, the pointy flags that hang on the string at car lots,
Yeah.
all that stuff. And we're gonna do open houses, and we would do open houses for 2 weekends in a row and get offers. Get
Mhm.
offers and sell those deals. And we know that as soon as we get an offer for more than what our contract is, we've got a paycheck coming.
Mhm.
That easy. So you can then assign your deal over to that buyer, or you can double close, Denise, it's just like a wholesale deal, just like a wholesale deal. Just replace the ugly house with a pretty house, and just replace the fix and flipper or the landlord buyer with a retail buyer. Same deal. Same
Yeah.
deal.
Hey, Justin, have you ever, well, I know you said you hadn't done a whole bunch of those, but has there ever been a time where the seller wanted some of your fee?
No, because we're usually giving the seller pretty close to what their asking price is. Let's say the fair market value is 100,000.
Mhm.
This really works in hot markets, by the way, hot markets where let's just for ease of numbers, the house is worth 100,000. They're asking 100,000, but they would do the contract with me today for, let's say, 89,000, 90,000. All right. Now I'm going to go find a retail buyer in this hot market in the next 2 weeks, and they're gonna buy the house at 100,000, sometimes 98, sometimes 105. Okay, depending on what market it is. All right, so that's the spread. So, they're going to be paying a realtor if they don't sell the house themselves, or if I don't sell it. So they're going to be paying. Sometimes you got to give. Okay,
Mhm.
and if you want this house gone in the next 2 weeks, what's the best you can do, Mr. Homeowner? What's the best you can do? If you want a contract on this property within the next 2 weeks, what's the best price?
Yeah, I had a situation similar to that, and the seller backed out. And what happened was, we'll just use simple numbers again. Like what you said, the house was, they wanted 100,000. Actually, they wanted 150, real numbers. And I had talked them down to like 125, right? But then I found a buyer to sell it at 155. So the seller was feeling some type of way because they originally wanted 150. I talked them down to 125, and then I turned around and was trying to sell it for 155. That didn't fly. That, because then it was like, well, we could have did it. Da, 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 da. I'm like, well, yeah, you could have, but you didn't. So, but they backed out.
They backed out.
Lashonda, let me ask you something. In a deal like this, does the homeowner have to know how much you're marking or how much you're going to be selling it for? Is that why is there any way that they don't have? I don't know, but
Yeah, it's just like a wholesale deal in that if you do an assignment, they're going to know.
Okay.
Yeah,
If-
because it was like when I put it out there, your seller might not necessarily know, but somebody else might know and be like, well, did you know your house was on the market? I saw it on Craigslist or something. I don't know how they knew, but they knew, and they called me and they was upset, and then they was trying to say I was scamming them and all this and all that. And I'm like, well, no, I mean, I pretty well much had it sold, but it was like right when we got ready to close the deal, they backed out.
Yeah. The seller backed out.
Yeah. Because
It's
they
hard-
got mad because they
It's hard for
wanted,
sellers to back out. Oof.
they got mad because they wanted 150, and I talked them down to 125, but I had it pretty well much sold for 155.
Yeah. That's nutty. That's nutty. Pretty not, I wouldn't say uncommon for a seller to freak out, but not really something I experience frequently at all. I've had one seller, I think, in my career back out on me, and I made the wrong decision. In the United States, guys, in Canada, it's different, but in the United States, it's like the seller is obligated to sell once they've signed the purchase and sale agreement or option or what have you. They're kind of obligated. The seller is. The buyer, though, he can flake out all he wants, usually in the United States without much risk other than maybe his earnest money, you know. And if you didn't put any earnest money down or much, then, you know, you didn't lose much of that. So the buyer in America has a lot of room to play in the United States. And the seller doesn't have a lot of room to play. When a seller tries to say, oh, I'm not doing the deal, the title company's ready to close today. Nah, no, thank you. I changed my mind. Bullshit, you did. Okay. You could be litigated against. Okay. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell that seller, listen, what is it that we need to do to make a deal happen today? Okay. I'm going to try to negotiate that deal out. If I can't negotiate that deal out, then I'm going to say, Mr. Homeowner, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to go down to the courthouse and I'm going to file a memorandum of equitable interest against your property, cloud the title, and you're not going to be able to sell it to anybody but me. So are we closing on this today or sometime up the road? You let me know what happens. Thank you. Bye-bye. Click.
I tried to do that, but it was like after they found that part out, I couldn't even get a hold of them anymore. Like I called and tried to, you know, I didn't want to just go knock on the door.
Did you leave a message? I would have left a message to that extent. Would I have gone down to the courthouse and actually filed the memorandum? Maybe, maybe not. Depends on how badly I felt jaded and how much money was on the table and what the buyer wanted to do and all that, you know. So, you know, but that doesn't, these are things that don't happen that frequently. But so I'm sorry that happened to you, LaShonda.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, it's life, it's an experience, but you know, I'm just saying that I've had that happen to me, and I wouldn't think that it would be something that would happen all the time, because I did have another seller try to back out on the wholesale deal, and then the buyer threatened to really get, what you call it? The buyer was wanting to go to court and do all that. So I kind of related it to the seller, not in the way that the buyer said it, because the buyer was upset. The buyer really wanted his house. So I was like, hey, I mean, I understand you upset and you want to back out or whatever. I said, but we do have an agreement, and then the buyer is ready to go. They already have their crew in place, and they're prepped to start the renovation process. So if you back out, they're threatening to take the situation further. So I just think it would be in your best interest. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but I think it would be in your best interest to just go on and just wrap this thing up and be done, get your money and move on down the road.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's how it plays out. And that's how it's played out in my life. And that's how it played out there. And that's how it will play out again, I'm sure, you know, if it ever happens again. But yeah, the buyer has, he's got it right. He's got it right there. You know, the buyer can flake out and walk away the day of closing if he wants. You know, the seller, he opens himself up for litigation, for clouding his title, for all kinds of problems. You know, and sometimes sellers don't know that, and sometimes they like to play that little game, and sometimes they just need to be reminded. You know, if you're doing business in your local market, it's good to have an attorney buddy that's willing to just every now and then, if this happens, just to make a phone call, just call that person for you and leave a nice attorney message. You know, we need to get this resolved, or you know, we're considering possible litigation against you. We're also going to cloud the title. We don't want to do all this. Please call us back today and tell us how we can go ahead and resolve this and get this closed up. Thank you. Bye-bye. You know, that kind of thing. You know, sometimes you got to do it. I said one time, but I take that back. It's happened twice. I remember 2 times now. And in all honesty, in my career, it's probably happened a handful of times, but 2 that I can think of at the moment. And in one case, I did get an attorney. And in that case, that attorney did cloud the title. And he also did file a lawsuit against him in court. And he did litigate against him. And I did end up getting the deal about 90 days later. But I also did end up getting a bill for about $3,500 90 days later from the attorney too. So just think about that. Holy shit. I thought maybe 1,500 tops, maybe. In fact, that's what we had talked about before we started. I didn't realize it was growing like Mount Everest. That's how them attorneys do, man. I don't know what kind of device they have for clocking in and clocking out when they're thinking about you, but that dude, he was thinking about me a whole bunch. I don't like that. Don't think about me that much. Don't work that hard. Do less. Do less. Whatever it is you're doing, slow down or speed up. We got any questions? Anything else going on out there, guys? It's been awesome today.
Justin, I set up my system similar to the way that your work schedule is.
Yeah.
And it's really working out for me.
Oh, that's great.
And you know, something that simple you would not think would have the effect that it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
It
you,
saves a
Jerry.
lot of time.
What are you referring to? I'm lost on that part. I'm kind of new to the group.
Justin's work schedule, the way he sets it up for his text blasts to go out.
Oh, you talking about pulling, scraping on Sunday and then
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
then send me now. Yeah, I'm trying to get on your schedule too, Justin.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Get
I
on
set
that
mine up.
routine.
I set mine up different to where, like, I want SMS going out on Sunday, so Monday morning we have people to talk to. I just tweaked it where it worked for me, but it's great.
Yeah.
Save a lot of time.
Yeah.
Save a lot of time.
Yeah. Fuck. I don't want to work too hard. I only want to do the important shit that has to be done. And then I want to go screw off.
So Justin, do you do just regular wholesaling as well?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So are
regular.
you using the automated REI when you're pulling leads, or I know you use PropStream. Are
Yep.
you using another system when you're getting the leads to skip for the wholesaling part, the ugly side? I call it the ugly side.
Nope, I'm using the same stuff. The automated REI, PropStream, lots of great data there. And then I'm also using recently Investor Deal Pro. I'm still pretty new at that though, so don't ask me a lot of questions about that.
Justin, I was thinking of following Arturo Ace.
Yeah.
But I don't want to set myself up too thin right now.
Yeah, I understand.
But it seems like he has a good system going there.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, appreciate you saying that. Yeah, Victor and Arturo Ace both have some things they're bringing to the table now. You can check it out over at realestatewholesalersclub.com. Okay. Mark Richardson's got a question here. I have a seller who we did flex option on 3 properties, but he is filing BK. Will that make a difference? Are these lease options?
No, they're just straight flex options.
Just straight flex options. Okay. Yeah. Well, if you get it done before it's discharged, before there's some point in the stage of bankruptcy that it's too late. And I think it's after the meeting of the creditors. I'm not sure, but yeah. So how far along is he in the BK?
Well, what the deal was is we had an option with this guy before but it's crazy out here in California. So his properties are all up in the hills in Sonoma County, and we had all these big gigantic fires. So basically we had a 2-month option, but that kind of threw that out the window. So we were going to renew the options today. So I think he just filed this week.
Oh, you got some time then.
Okay.
Yeah. He's probably going to stop making payments on them if he hasn't already.
Well, he actually owns them outright.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So it's two.
Whoa,
lots.
What's he doing? Who's advising this dude?
It's a mess.
Wow.
So he's got I mean, it's kind of a long story, but basically he has a house. There's 3 properties. They're all on 38 acres. One of them has a really nice, like 4,000 square foot house, but it was built without a permit. So there's a bunch of county crap that's going on with that. The county's after him to get a permit for the house that wasn't built. And so that house is a total mess, but the other 2 properties are totally sellable for, people that want to have nice gardens.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and he actually said he thinks he can do, he wanted, if we could have got rid of that, he really wanted to get rid of the house, get that headache out of it. And he said, basically he'd give me the other properties on lease option, any sort of terms I wanted to have on them. And I have a ton of buyers that would do that. And he just texted me and said, yeah, I think I might be able to do lease options on the other ones. So, but I just want to make sure that, I don't spend all this time if the BK is going to get in the way.
Well, is the BK a 13 or a 7? Do you know?
Yeah, I'm not sure yet. I'm going to call him right after we're done with this call and find out. So,
see, if it's a BK 7, he's gonna totally, he's fucked up already. Be honest with you, because
he's got to liquidate everything. Right?
He'll have to liquidate it all, and he should have done this a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Or filed a year from now or something, because they're going to go back about 7 months on him, and they're going to look at everything he's done in the last 7 months. And if they see him dumping properties, they're going to say, where'd this money go and how'd this happen? Right. You can't sell your assets, liquidate them, and then file bankruptcy without paying your debts. Mm-hmm. And so that's going to be an issue. So you want to find that out. If it's a 13, it's a restructuring. He may be able to keep a lot of his stuff, maybe. Depends on how it's being done, I guess. So I don't know.
Okay.
You want to find out that. If it's a BK7, you could still go ahead and probably find a buyer, cash buyer, but the trustee's going to grab that money. Right. Is what I'm saying. As soon as it hits his bank account, it's gone. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if he's aware of that,
We'll see.
But basically, you're liquidating those properties for the court now, practically, mm-hmm. The way he has it structured. 13 though, it may be the lease option one is the scariest one to me, because, he's going to lose that property. If he's going to keep the property though, through the bankruptcy, which is what he has to be able to tell you. And he has to talk to his attorney, and the attorney has to say, okay, here's what you're going to end up keeping. And here's your personal residence and your driving vehicle, and the rest is gone.
Right.
Or he may say, well, this is the kind of bankruptcy we're doing, and you get to keep X, Y, and Z as well, as long as you do this and this and this. So, you got to get more info, I guess. Long story short, man.
Yeah, I'll get it after this call for sure. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's a good question, though. Good question. I wish Ken,
that might be a question he should talk to an attorney himself about, right? Before doing the lease option, wouldn't that be BK?
No, I wouldn't. I would just find out from the guy what his attorney says about what he's going to keep and what he's not going to keep.
Okay.
And just go with that. Because that's, his attorney's going to have a whole heck of a lot more to say about it than any attorney Mark would bring to the table.
Right.
And you got to remember too, that his attorney, the seller's attorney, the guy that's filing bankruptcy, his bankruptcy attorney is working directly with the court and the trustees and and all that stuff. So he presents this stuff. If there's problems with the case, the trustee will talk to the lawyer and say, hey, this furniture he bought from Amazon, why did he buy $1,800 worth of furniture 4 months ago? Okay. They'll crawl up his ass like that. Okay. So he'll have to cut, so that attorney, he'll probably have his ducks in a row real well. He'll know what's going on and he'll be able to tell you. So Mark, that guy's attorney, he's probably the source of all great information. Yeah. Good question. So that one there, you just got to stay in the saddle with until you know more and can do more or do less. Yeah. find out if it's really something you can do or not. Great question.
I
LaShonda,
have
you
a-
had, Yep.
Yeah, this is kind of off subject. When you're dealing with a, well, it's not off subject, but when you're dealing with a seller and you got a hitch that they are maybe trying to back out of a deal and go with someone else or something like that, when you go and do the memorandum, do you have to have their signature and then do you have to have it notarized?
which memorandum are you talking about? The flex option, the lease option agreement memo?
Yeah, either that one or even when you wholesaling.
Okay. When I'm wholesaling, I'm using a purchase and sale agreement or an option agreement. So
Right.
I don't have those notarized. I also don't have the lease option stuff on that side notarized either. I don't use a notary. And if it's a flex option or the flex option lease option agreement memo, then they have the ability to it's not exclusive, so they have the ability to find somebody and do the deal with them instead of me. So I might not have any ground to stand on here. They might beat me to it, and that's okay. A lot of times, guys, I use that flex option agreement memo. A lot of times I use a beefier lease option too. Okay. So be like water, be Bruce Lee here, what paperwork suits this deal best? Can I lock this up with a lease option, or do I need the flex option agreement memo? Which one do I need for this deal? I decide. Okay. And sometimes it's a little beefier than others, right? You guys should have a couple options in your contracts packet.
Okay, so explain to me the difference between the flex and then just the option. Because I've never heard of flex until I got in this group.
Yeah, that's good. Good question. Let me share screens here real quick, and I'll write it out for you. The flex option versus a regular option versus other things. Okay, good question. So an option to purchase. Everybody knows what that is, right? That's just a straight option.
Right.
Okay. It's exclusive. All right. That means they give you and you only the first right of refusal or the first right of purchase. Okay. But what's so important about this is it's exclusive. They can't sell this to anyone but you. You got the first right to refuse it, the first right to purchase it. All right. So that's the option to purchase, also known as a straight option or first right of refusal, first right of purchase. Now, here is a flex option. Okay. It is also called a flex option to purchase, or sometimes just a flex option. It is non-exclusive. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by that?
Anybody. It's not just for you, it's for anybody.
So the seller can also market and replace me.
Okay, gotcha.
It's a race.
So they're not tied to the contract they signed with you, basically.
Right.
Okay. Makes sense.
They're not bound in a flex. It's flexible.
Mm-hmm.
I've agreed to it. If you find a buyer for me, LaShonda, I've agreed to sell it to you at this price. But if I beat you to it, and see, that's my thing. I think I can do it myself, and I don't want to completely stop and just trust you with the deal. So if you're going to be looking to find a buyer in the next month, that's fine. I'm going to continue looking too, and whoever wins.
Right. Okay. So if the seller wins, you just basically shit out of luck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. A lease option to purchase. Everybody knows what that is, right? It's a lease, and then with the option to purchase.
Right.
It's an exclusive thing. Okay. A flex lease option to purchase. And I also just added this word to the end for no real good reason other than to make it sound really, really mundane. I put memo on the end. I did that. Flex option. It's actually a flex lease option to purchase, but now it's a flex lease option to purchase memo. Okay. It is non-exclusive. Oops. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So sometimes I lead in with a flex lease option, that memo, and sometimes I lead in with a straight lease option to purchase. It depends on how solid my seller is. Is he motivated? Can I get a full straight lease option to purchase? Or this also gives me the right to back out though, by the way, but it's exclusive for him. Or do I need to go in and lead with the flex lease option to purchase memo because he's not sold on me 100% yet?
Right.
Dig. Does that make sense, y'all?
That makes
hold on.
sense.
Hold on, Justin. Okay.
Okay.
So in the package that I have from the course, so I have the lease option agreement memo. That one is non-exclusive, right?
Correct.
Okay, so that one I'm gonna write non-exclusive. And then next is that the statement of understanding is between me and the buyer, the tenant buyer, just so they understand everything. So that's not what you're talking about, right?
No, there's a beefier lease option.
Okay, so then I have the residency agreement. That's just a straight lease agreement.
Correct.
So that's not part of what you're talking about. And then next I have the first right of purchase. The first right of purchase.
There you
and
go.
That one is exclusive.
Yep. So here's the difference, guys.
And
If
it's
you-
exclusive.
if-
Sorry.
if you-
And then I have just the addendum to the first right of purchase, right?
Uh-huh. Yep.
So that's okay. That's what I have.
That entire closing packet,
Yeah.
with the exception of the flex option agreement memo.
Which one? Okay, I think the word flex is throwing me off.
Okay.
Is that what you were saying? The lease option agreement memo? Is that you call it also flex?
Yes, it's a flex.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
The,
All
the
right.
lease
then.
option agreement memo is a flex. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. The rest of the packet is exclusive.
Okay.
Okay,
Also cool.
okay.
Okay.
So that's why you lead in with the flex like that. And then when you find your tenant buyer, you lock everything in with exclusive documents.
Okay.
You
And
see where I'm
said-
going with that, Sandra?
Right. You said sometimes you go in with the
Sometimes-
flex.
Sometimes I go in with that lease option agreement memo, which is the flex. It's non-exclusive.
Right.
Sometimes I'll lead in with that, and other times I'll lead in with I'll just go ahead and start filling out the exclusive paperwork.
Okay.
And then I can assign that real easily over to the tenant buyer when I'm ready. Yep.
Okay.
It depends
Got it.
on how solid my seller is. If my seller is solid gold, I'm in like Flynn, then I'm going to go ahead and get that exclusive stuff started. But if he's on the fence and I get a shot, I'm going to use that flex option stuff, the seller's lease option agreement memo. Okay.
So when you're going in and you're signing the first right of purchase and the other one, do you have a buyer already or no? You're still looking for a buyer.
Yeah. Great question, Mr. Homeowner. We have buyers all around the country. We probably have one interested in that one. But see, here's the thing, man. I can't talk to them about your house or show them pictures or anything unless I have an agreement with you. It just doesn't make sense. Probably even illegal. So if we can work something out here today, yeah, I've got some people I'll get interested in and get them over there. Is that reasonable or maybe not?
Okay. Flip
Okay,
it.
so you saying that in your packet, all of them is exclusive except for the lease option agreement memo?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. So if you've got a solid gold seller that's you're in like Flynn with this guy, then you don't want to go non-exclusive. You want to go right. You want to go right to that closing paperwork and start filling it out. And you want to get the lease agreement or at least the first right of refusal. Okay. One of the two or both.
Okay. Sorry. I have,
Excuse me.
so the first right of purchase one.
Mhm.
Now, that's just giving the buyer the first right to purchase, right?
That's
say
your
2 years.
option. That's your
That's
option.
an
agreement.
option. Let's
Yep.
say two years down the line, when they are ready, do they have to go use a different document? Like they have to actually use a different, like a sales.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, got it.
If you read in that first right of purchase, it says down there that when they are ready to buy, the
Yeah, at the
buyer
time,
must,
exercise the first right, right.
they must give them written notice, the seller, the homeowner,
Okay.
30 days in advance. What is written notice 30 days in advance mean? A purchase and sale agreement filled out and signed. Okay.
Got it.
When-
Yeah,
when
I
the
just
tenant-
highlighted that.
Yep. When the tenant buyer's ready, they're going to fill out a purchase and sale agreement and they're going to mail it to where they've been mailing their checks every month.
Okay,
And when that seller gets it, he needs to sign it and it needs to be put in escrow at the title company because we're going to close in 30 days or less.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay, okay, sorry, I have one more.
That's okay, Sandra. Go ahead.
So with the lease, the residency agreement, right?
Mhm.
There's number 10, it's repairs, and it says owner pays 0 for
Yep.
repairs. So in one of my conversations with the buyers, I said that the buyer would be, I'm sorry, with the homeowner, I said the buyer would be responsible for repairs that are like 500 and under.
Okay. Then
Okay.
edit that. You just need to edit that paragraph. Yep.
Okay,
And make
and just
it,
put, okay,
yep. Make it read exactly what you negotiated out with the homeowner. $500 per occurrence is up to $500 is the tenant buyer's responsibility. Anything beyond that, Mr. Homeowner, is going to be you, because that's probably going to be the roof or the foundation or the HVAC or something big like that. And so, but the toilet and the dishwasher and the drippy faucet and all that stuff, the light fixture that quit working and things like
Okay.
that, that's not going to be you, Mr. Homeowner. That's going to be the tenant buyer, up to $500 per incident.
when do you keep it where it's 500 or it's all repairs? When do you, do you base it on the condition of the property, or for all your properties, the buyer is responsible for everything?
The standard for me is $500 per incident. Okay. The contracts there, I modify them every deal I do.
Okay,
Okay. Every deal is different. And if a homeowner is more comfortable with $1,000 per incident, then guess what my contract says? It says $1,000 per incident. If he's comfortable with no money, like he doesn't want to be responsible at all, I'm done with this. If that's what it takes for me to get the deal, guess what my contract says?
okay, got it.
I'll find a tenant buyer that's okay with that.
Okay,
Okay, Justin, so,
LaShonda,
normally-
we're dominating this thing. I feel so bad.
Woo! I love it.
It's the women up in here asking
Yeah.
questions today. No, so when you're, because I thought that was like the selling point to win the seller over when you're pitching the lease option and then they don't have any repairs. Like,
Yeah.
so what
Yeah,
I'm
that's
saying is,
okay.
in the documents, can you just have it to where all the repairs is solely on the buyer?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the
100%.
clause actually is. The clause in his contract, it says buyer is, so the way he has it in LaShonda in here is, it says exactly that. It says repairs, owner pays 0.
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
can
Okay,
change
so
it.
the buyer is responsible for all the repairs.
Right,
Yeah.
that's how Justin has it in his contract. I was asking him about if I want to add in a clause where the buyer only pays up to 500.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did that on my first one. I haven't purchased on a lease option, but I've sold a couple on the lease option. In my first one, I did that. And what I found on the very first one, sure enough, about 2 weeks, here he come calling, it was a problem. And then I had to go over there and fix it. So then on my second one, I hurry up and took that out. So I tell him up front, hey, go over there, look at the house, see if
Yeah.
you want it. Take your cousin, your uncle, your mama, your daddy, whoever you need to take,
Yeah.
inspect it, do whatever
Yeah.
you need to do. Because once we
Yeah.
sign this agreement
Yep.
and the funds exchange is I'm not doing
Yeah.
we're not doing any repairs, period.
She learned how to have that guts conversation the hard way, y'all.
Right.
Because that's
No, but-
exactly what you say, LaShonda. That's
Yeah,
exactly
2
what
weeks
you say.
later, no lie, 2 weeks later, the freaking roof started leaking. And I'm like, what the? So luckily, it didn't cost that much because my roofing guy was able to just patch that one little part, which was like, I think like $300, but it was just
Yeah.
the concept. Now I know
Oh,
and
yeah.
understand. I don't want to do no repairs and no time, no,
Yeah.
period.
Yeah. So you can adjust that contract any way you want. You can set it up where the buyer's 100% responsible, or you can set it up where he's responsible for the first $250 or $500 or whatever makes you comfortable. But it's important, guys, definitely when you're having a conversation with the homeowner that you talk through this. All right. That, hey, this is what's up with the repairs and things like that. And it's important when you're talking to your tenant buyer before they do the contract or when they're doing the contract, that you let them know, hey, this is what the repairs are. I want to point this paragraph out to you, you know, so that means if the toilet breaks or, you know, you got to buy a new flapper, you know what I mean? I hate that stuff. Got to buy a new flapper. It's $10-15 at Amazon. You install it yourself. You don't call anybody. Nobody's going to come out. I'm not going to come fix your dishwasher. The homeowner is not going to fix your dishwasher. Nobody's fixing your dishwasher. This is a rent to own opportunity. I want you to treat this house and think of this house like it's yours because we want it to be, don't you? Oh yeah, that's why we're doing this. Yeah. Okay, great. So don't call me because I ain't the fix it repair guy. Okay. All right. Now, unless it's more than $500, like the contract says, and then, you know, then give me a ring. We'll see what we can do. We'll see if we can file something on insurance or whatever needs to happen, you know?
But that's what I'm saying. If the buyer is solely responsible and something happens to the roof and the roof needs to be replaced, isn't the buyer responsible for replacing the roof?
See, you know, it depends on the situation, guys, because you don't want to put your tenant buyer in a situation where he's going to foot the entire bill for the roof, because what if he can't? Now he can't qualify for the loan because guess what? It won't pass inspection. Right. It won't appraise. He can't get the loan. Now everybody's ship is sunk. Okay, so you want to set up a winning deal for both sides here, where the seller's got some safety net. He's got that tenant buyer paying the first $250, $500 maybe. He's got, you know, the tenant buyer's got a safety net. He knows he's not going to get in deep more than $500, which is great. And the deal can move along more joyously. Now, there are some cases where the seller doesn't want any responsibility and he's gone and he's out, and that's fine. Great. I'll sell that deal off to a tenant buyer with no, the seller's not helping at all. You do your thing. You bring an inspector. You make your decisions now. And that's final. This is what the deal is. I have done it both ways, guys. But you got to think about the buyer, the seller, and yourself, how to create a positive win-win-win situation here, too. Okay. Victor was going to add something. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, so pretty much on every deal that I've done so far, one of the things that I use to lock it in and close it is I make the tenant buyer purchase a home warranty policy. The home warranty policy goes for about $500 or less. The tenant buyer pays for it up front, and both of them are normally excited because everything over $500 is going to be covered by the home warranty policy. It's an easy close. It locks down deals every single time, and you can walk away feeling protected because if that roof does go bad, you know, home warranty will come out. You pay your $75. If they need to replace it, the same $75. So, you know, it really protects you. If you feel any kind of skittish like that, use it as a closing tactic.
And you sell that to not only the homeowner but the tenant buyer, right?
No, I just sell it. I sell it to the tenant buyer to protect the homeowner, and I sell it to the homeowner to let them know that they're protected.
Which one do you use, Victor?
I use Select because they give me breaks because I bought so many of them. But you really have to check who's offering in your zip code, because the way they work is they move around and they have a limited amount that they can sell in any zip code. So sometimes they'll actually close down a zip code until they can reopen a zip code. So, you know, just call around a few. First American is really good. Select is really good. You know, they have Fidelity has a home warranty, so you should try to look for some in whatever areas you're working, just so you can have it in your back pocket. It takes about 10 minutes to find about 3 of them.
Amazon's got one now.
Stop it.
Yeah, I'm serious. Amazon, you got Amazon Prime. Just go on there and get this home warranty. Let's look at this deal, though. Great point, Victor. Thanks for adding that. Look at the insurances here. The homeowner now should change to a landlord policy. Right now with his homeowning insurance, he's got a residential policy. He needs a landlord policy. If he wants to be safe, he better get a landlord policy.
Yeah.
Number 2, the tenant buyer should have tenant insurance, renter's insurance. He should. He should, in case he catches the kitchen on fire one night while he's smoking a cigarette and talking to a friend on the phone.
Yep. Both required.
Okay. He should also, in case somebody breaks in the house and burglarizes and steals all his shit. Right? He should have some kind of renter's insurance. He also now has a home warranty. Boy, this deal is sounding sweet now. This deal is sounding nice now. Boy, it's starting to feel nice and warm and cozy.
Yeah.
Just think, you're going to be sitting by that fire. You got a home warranty. You got renter's insurance. The homeowner, he's got the appropriate insurance too. You can enjoy this. Your wife in there making that bread. You smell that bread cooking and that roast in the crock pot with the carrots and the taters and the kids laughing in the background, playing in the game room over there. You know, I mean, how exciting is this going to be? How comfortable is this? Wow, man, it's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it wraps them in a warm security blanket.
Oh,
it's
my
a great
gosh.
closing piece.
Oh.
And you don't pay for it. It's not coming out of your pocket or your profit. You let the tenant buyer know that they'll be required to purchase it. So it does all the benefits for you and them if they ever need to use it. But it's a great closer.
Wednesday, we're gonna have you show us how you do it with the owner there, Victor.
Absolutely. You know, I'm always down.
Yeah, Victor. Victor. Sorry, Philip. So Victor, in one of my offer letters, so I gave a first month's rent. I'm talking about down to the homeowner.
Yes.
The seller. I gave the first month's rent. I gave a deposit, and then I gave an extra $1,000 for 1 year warranty. Is that correct? Did I do it correctly?
You could. It's not going to cost you $1,000, but you can build it into the contract and just keep the change. You can build it in. I don't normally put a dollar figure on there, only because I don't know how much they're going to cost up front, but I will promise them that they will have a home warranty on the property to protect them for the first year. Something Justin mentioned too. You need to specify that the property owner does not live on the property or so, but home warranties for the most part are attached to the property.
Okay. Yeah. Wednesday we're gonna have to go into probably.
We'll go into some details.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
That's
You're
great.
welcome.
Guys, Victor Walker Wednesday does role play for the VIP 2 hours starting at 9 a.m. on Pacific time. It's 11 Central time, 12 noon on the East Coast on Wednesdays for 2 hours. Guys, role play practice, some Q&A too. Don't miss it. He's doing some one-on-one coaching and stuff. You can check it out at realestateWholesalerSclub.com. Victor's awesome content, awesome stuff, real advice. Okay. So somebody asked me yesterday, they were like, did you know that Victor and Ace they've got these little programs they're doing and offering to do these things for people? And I was like, yeah, I'm well aware of that. Yeah. It's yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. Yeah.
Part of the club.
Yeah. Are you in? Are you in? No, no, this isn't a spelling bee. I'm not spelling the word run. Okay.
We had talked about some text wording early on, and looks like Jerry has adopted him. Jerry, I'm glad to hear that you kind of personalize your text message and it's working for you. Yeah, we had that conversation early on in our training, and he's an adapter. Jerry does what you make a suggestion, he test drives it. And, I could recommend that to everybody. You know what? Get a suggestion, you like it, test drive it. If it fits, use it. If not, you can be off of it pretty quick at no cost to you. Yeah. Don't let Jerry fool you. Jerry's dangerous. Don't let him fool you.
Hey, Justin, I had to, I didn't have to, but I got a list for tired landlords off of PropStream. Yeah. And I wanted to blast that out, but I kind of need some advice on how do I pitch that on a text message.
Okay. Okay. Let's write a good text message. Let's do that. Real quick, Mary Ann wanted to know if you could give them a little more money on the flex option. Sure. You can negotiate anything. It's like water. And Denise wants to know, do you have to close with an attorney? Do the monthly payments on this is on a lease option? Does it go through an attorney? You got to send payments, monthly payments through a service? Does your tenant buyer make payments through a service? Well, you could. That's another thing you could add. You could add some a payment processor, servicer, mortgage servicer, escrow type thing. Yeah, you could definitely do that. And some people do. I don't do that, but some people do it a lot. Let's write a text message for tired landlords.
Because right now on the automated REI, they suggest at least 5, and so it doesn't.
Okay. So you're gonna need 5 messages. Somebody help me out. Let's come out. Yeah, we'll come up with one, and you can modify it and switch it around and build off of it and make 5.
Okay,
Let's build one. Anybody got an idea for one? Let's start. Let's build one together. You guys want to hear me just spout one off, or you want to build one? Let's learn. Let's build one together and then call it a day. We've got 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Go.
I could say, my name is LaShonda. I'm a local buyer, looking for another rental property. Have you considered selling before? But I guess that wouldn't work if you're not in that particular area.
We can. I can modify it for sure.
I like saying local buyer. I don't have a problem with that at all. Even if I'm in Kansas City and I'm doing business in Washington State, no problem. No problem. I'm a local buyer. No, I really am. I really am. I'm a wholesaler. I'm a local buyer. That's fine. To me, it's all just semantics. I don't care. I'm looking to buy properties in that local area. That makes me a local buyer. Okay. Semantics. I don't mind that, but if your conscience strikes you on that, then you can edit that out, change that around a little bit. But what's our opinion on this one? Anybody else have another one? Somebody give us another one. I'll start it out for you. How can we change that one around to make another one?
Let's see. You could say something like, my name is LaShonda. I own a couple of rentals. I'm looking for another rental, and I like the area. Have you considered selling before? Something like that.
Okay, you could say that. Let's go. What about that one? My name is blank. I buy properties like you in the area. I'd like to pick up a couple more this month. Could you consider selling? What do you think of that?
Yeah.
Anybody have any other ideas or thoughts? Tired landlords? Anything else? Any ideas on these, how we can make them better?
My name is Victor. I really love your neighborhood, and I'm looking to buy a property there. You wouldn't happen to be interested in selling, would you?
Wouldn't be interested in what?
In selling, would you?
Okay. All right.
Another quick question. When I have my
there you go. There's 5 right there. I'm sorry. Hey, there's 5, man. We got 5 for you. Do you see them on the screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right. Good one, Victor. That's a good one. I like them all. I'm sorry. Go ahead now, Philip.
Just quick question. I know you got to go. as far as my VA pre-qualifying these people, and when because they're not advertising. So answering the question, where did you get my number? What should I have my VA say?
You could say a lot of different things here. Let's come up with some good responses. I like to say, I don't know. Google, PropStream. I don't know. Maybe we drove past. I think a partner might have drove past and pointed it out, and he asked me to call you. Just anything. I mean, does it matter?
Really? Yeah. I always say when they say when they say how did you get my number, I always say I always start off with good question. Then I say I use a website. I use a website called White Pages, and it gives me some numbers that might be related to your property. And sometimes we just get lucky.
There you go. Perfect answer. Yeah.
There you go. That's nice.
I like Ed Bassmaster's answer. I don't know. My mom gave it to me. That's a good one. I mean, really, any of them will work. Any of them will work.
I'm gonna tell my VA to say that and see what they say.
Yeah. Where'd you get my number? Where'd you get my name and number? I don't know. My mom gave it to me. Okay.
All right.
Who's your mom? Well, let's not talk about moms. Let's not talk about mamas.
Talk about my mom. Talk about my mom.
That's funny. Right on. Thank you, guys.
All right. One last question. Anything else? Mary Ann, did you get your needs met here? Did you get your questions answered? I hope so. Sandra?
Yeah, I'm just saying that, at the end deal, at close to closing, if the seller wants to back out, couldn't you and you're making pretty good money, couldn't you say, well, here's what we can do. We can give you some more money or negotiate the price more.
Oh yeah. Definitely you could. You definitely could do that.
And with Victor, with that home warranty, can the house already need repairs? Like a leaky roof or something?
Typically, if it's pre-existing, they probably won't cover it. But oftentimes, and the truth of the matter is that I've never seen them go out to do an inspection. They'll take your word for it. They'll do like an interview. But if they find out that it was there pre-existing, you could be declined for the home warranty. So it's not meant to circumvent or to cheat anybody. Get it fixed, get a warranty in case it it goes bad or whatever.
Yeah. And you have the seller buy one also?
No, the seller doesn't need to buy one. They're covered as a result of the buyer paying for it, and it stays on the house. They don't really care, where the seller lives or anything like that. They need his address and information, obviously, to keep him informed. But he's not even attached. He's the owner of record.
Oh, okay. And so then, when you're negotiating with the seller, then you add that in. Is that what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they know that right up front that they'll be required to buy a home warranty. Now, nobody that I've ever dealt with has balked at that because they immediately understand the relief that comes in case they're in this thing the first year and that tree falls on that roof. Mm-hmm. They already know that that's covered.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's an easy close. You don't have to. It's not hard to close it, and it locks down your seller feels so comfortable and protected. Now they know that the homeowner's going to take care of everything under $500-600 himself. Never going to call you, and anything above that, the home warranty company is going to take care of, and the seller's going to pay the service call fee, which is usually around $75 to $100, whatever.
Oh, I see. And then you, the seller is going to take care. Do you tell them that they're going to take care of anything under 500?
That's right.
Oh,
they're homeowners now. Yeah, there's nobody to call.
So that warranty is in the tenant buyer or the seller's name.
It's in the seller's name because it's the seller's house because he's the one of record. But the tenant buyer, I just had this the other day. The tenant buyer called me on a previous deal that we did and asked me if and said that the washing machine or something had a problem. Can they use the home warranty? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely you can, because you're named on it. So they just have to call. They called the seller. The seller said, you know, you're approved on it. They called the home warranty company. Home warranty company came out. They paid $75. Ended up getting a brand new washing machine out of it because they couldn't repair the old one.
Okay.
Oh, thank you, Victor. Thank you,
You're welcome.
Justin.
Thank you,
Victor.
everybody. Sandra, go ahead.
Sorry. Nothing. Go ahead. Nothing.
No. Go for it. Go for it. We've come this far. We can't turn back now,
I
Sandra.
know Marianne asked a great question and it pulled me back in, you know. So Victor, so I'm looking at the lease agreement here, right, where it says insurance does not cover tenant buyer's possession or tenant buyer's negligence. So it says here that the tenant buyer has to also get an insurance policy to cover
Yes.
damage.
That's
Renters
a renter's insurance policy
Right.
being referred to for the most part. Yeah.
So
Yes.
if this is in the lease agreement, do I also need to go ahead and also say tenant buyer? If I already am saying that the tenant buyer is responsible for 500 and under, now when it comes to the home warranty, do I need to go ahead and add another sentence that also says tenant buyer is required to get a 1-year home warranty?
Yes.
Yep.
That's what you're saying. Got it. Thank you. Okay. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
it.
Thank you. Marianne got it. Thank you, Marianne, for asking that. That's what it is. I was kind of struggling with is that. So I need to add a clause in here that says the tenant buyer is also required to get is it 1 year, or should I go ahead and say just a 2-year warranty?
They usually sell them for 1 year at a time.
Okay. Got it. Thank you so much. You just
That's
completely
you want
clarified so much.
Oh,
Okay, got
thank
it.
you. Thank
Boy,
you.
don't tell me.
Yeah.
Justin.
Thank you,
Yes.
everyone.
You guys
Justin,
are crazy. I love you.
Justin, we're going to have to start calling Victor Claude Jr.
Thank you so much, guys. This group, it's just the thing about it is like you sometimes don't have these questions in your mind. It's other people that have better questions than what you have, and that's why I try to make as many of these as I can and not try to miss any, because I'm learning so much from everybody else and stuff like that. So I appreciate that. Thank you for putting up with all my questions today, everybody.
Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you, because I learned from them when other people ask questions, and I'm learning. I think, oh yeah, that's something I didn't think about that I want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Girl
you so
power.
much.
Girl power.
Woo-hoo, Marianne Mashanda. Woo-hoo.
Hey, Justin, one more question on the automated REI. Did that issue get resolved about Zillow?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It will proceed as normal. They're going to make some changes in the back office and how they do things to process it, but it should work. I've been told it should work for us just like always. And they're going to make some changes and do some things, but shouldn't affect us at all next week. Fingers crossed that it works that way. But yeah, you know, I've said this the other day. I don't know if you caught it, but all scrapers have this problem. All scrapers, automated REI, Joe Crumps, Scraping Solutions, you name it, they all have this problem. From time to time, Zillow changes what they do. From time to time, Craigslist changes what they do, and then they have to adjust, and they're off for a couple days. And in some cases, not automated REI, but I've seen some of these others off for weeks or months at a time. Automated REI, I've seen them down one time for 2 weeks. Besides that, it's usually a day, maybe two. These guys are on it like Donkey Kong, right? So, but get used to it, guys. When you're using the scrapers and all that, get used to it. That's why I always tell you, be water, be Bruce Lee here. Okay, go with the flow. Wherever the flow is, go there. Oh, the scraper's down. Okay, that's okay. I'm going to pull data on PropStream this week. Boom. The texture's down. Okay, that's okay. That's all right. I'm going to move over to TextMagic for a week. Okay, that's all right. You know, whatever. You know, I'm flowing here. Am I going to be put out of business because automated REI had a hiccup for a day?
Correct. Right.
You see where I'm going with that? All right, guys. Any last questions?
As far as the REI, I got a suggestion. I was going to try to catch the owner when he comes on. I use a texting platform, and I wanted to suggest, as far as scheduling, like in batches, like if you want to send out 100 per hour, I wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah.
As far as that, and also
Good
to
idea.
be in compliance with the TCAP or whatever it's called, as
Mhm.
far as hitting the button every time. I have another simple software that I use called the auto clicker.
Okay.
And
There
you
you
can
go.
set it up to
The auto
whatever
clicker.
key on your keyboard. Yeah, you just push the key, and if you want to set it to click 200 times in like 2 seconds, you guys know
Of
about
course, they
that?
made an auto damn clicker.
If
That's crazy. Yeah,
if you get tired of doing this, you could
we
you
got an
just
auto clicker for you.
Yeah, right.
That's crazy.
I mean, it works. It works.
That is good.
So
That's pretty
the
cool.
way this software works is when you set up your campaign, when you set up your campaign, and then it allows you to be able to send however many per hour, per minute, or per 30
Yeah,
minutes.
that's
So
pretty
you
cool.
so you do that first, and then before you send it out, you go ahead and start your little clicky, or use the auto clicker.
Yeah.
And then once you do that, it will go out on the time that you put in there for it to go out.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
a good
want
idea.
to talk to him to see if he
Yeah.
can implement that in his software, because that'll be awesome.
Yeah, that would be cool. That's a great idea, LaShonda. He tried to come in here earlier, and he couldn't connect for some reason, but he was going to be here today. But he'll pop in here soon, and keep that idea, write that down, because that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like it.
As a workaround, you guys could segment your list, split your list up into batches and just set each batch up to go out an hour afterwards if you want to do it that way. In the meantime, until they implement something like that, that's what I do. I just split my list up, which is, copy, paste, whatever.
Yeah.
And then send the list out on successive times like that. So I can do 100 at a time or whatever, based on how available I am for answering calls right away.
Yeah. It's good stuff. Good stuff. There's some good ideas. Yeah. Sean Osby, I hope I said your name right, Sean. Sorry if I didn't. He says using an auto clicker may put you in violation of that TCPA. I don't know. You might have just made a fact there, Sean. I don't know. That's a good question. It's a good question. Guys, let's call it a wrap for today. I appreciate everybody that's been here. Girl power today I loved it. Let's do that again. Let's keep that going. I like it. I like it a lot. And
Manpower too.
Flex, girls, flex.
Kimberly is in the YouTube on YouTube watching, and she put, what service do we use to send contracts and all that says and all that. I use Dotloop, but I upload my contracts into Dotloop to send for electric signatures. It's just like DocuSign or HelloSign. If you want the contracts, they're free. They're over at realestatewholesalersclub.com. You can go get them in the free course. The course has a lot of great information in it. So go get it if you want it, Kimberly. And hey, thank you everybody that's been here and still here. Jerry, Mary Ann, Sandra, Victor, Philip, Alex, LaShonda, Mark, Vernon, everybody watching on YouTube. God bless you. I love you. Have a blessed week. Hey, go make this week count. Go make some momentum and make some money. All right. I'll see you guys later.
All right, bye. Thank you.
Monday night, we're having Midnight Mentor.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I'll see you.
Monday night at what time?
Midnight.
Oh, ooh, okay.
At midnight.
It's not just a clever name.
We're gonna have fun. All right. We'll see you guys later. Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Happy Halloween. Stay safe.
Halloween.